Today we're going to be talking about one of the legendary 75% keyboards, the Mode Sonnet. Now I've done what I can to give it that full unboxing experience as I've built in this board before, so let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we have two boxes, one containing the main board and the other holding the components. Inside the component box, we're greeted by the following: a Mode branded switch and keycap holder, a branded Modedesign tool, coming with a Phillips head, a size 1.5 hex, and lastly, a size 2.0 hex. Next, we have our plate caps, which are used for the isolated top mount, case fasteners and extra screws, and screws for the internal weights, shorts without the stack mount, and longer screws for the stack mount. I did pick up plate foam and the silicone pad for the stack mount, with the board coming in a various amount of sounds with 3 different mounting styles: top mount, isolated top mount, and stack mount. Up next, we have our FR4 plate and our non-flex cut hot swap PCB. Now this is my first Mode board, so it's hard to compare it to the likes of the 65, the 80, or even things like the Envoy. But I've tried a fair share of 75% boards, and so far, this is hands down one of my go-tos. Up next, we have our brass accent bar to give the top chassis a nice look. And a copper internal weight to add some heft to the board. Judging off that brushed brass accent bar and that copper internal weight, the quality of the material used are out of this world. Now for the star of the show, the Mode Sonnet. Yeah. An outstanding quality of packaging, as when I received my board, it came very similar to how this is. Some words for the Mode team, and a QR code to scan in case you need some step-by-step assembly guide help. But in case not, that's why I'm here. I got you. Now at the start of the show, we have a green aluminum top and a black aluminum bottom. Going on my assumptions from that brushed brass accent bar and the copper internal weight, the quality material used proceeds to be just as good here for the top and the bottom for the casing. Front height of this board sits at 19 millimeters with a typing degree angle of 5.5 degrees. Let's take a second to admire the side profile, because good lord, that's a chef's kiss. With the unboxing out of the way, let's go ahead and crack this beauty open. Using the 2.0 hex, we can start by taking this board apart. I've already installed the feet, but let's go ahead and take a look here at the quality, the machining, the anodization on this aluminum. With the board taken apart, we can start putting things together by starting off with this brushed brass accent bar. Up next, we've already installed our daughter board, but we're going to go ahead and throw in that copper internal weight. No silicone pads, so we're using the short screws to screw this internal weight in. With those checked off the list, we can put these together and set these off to the side, start working on the internals. So far things are looking phenomenal. And again, let's check out that side profile. Up next, we're going to have that silicone pad as well as our plate foam. Give those extra acoustics or dampening those sounds to however you please. Silicone pad used for that stack mount as mentioned earlier. Then we have our pour-on plate foam that I'm going to be using in this build to give a nice muted sound. Up next, we do have that FR4 plate and a hot swappable non-flex PCB that allows you to choose between any switches your heart desires. Now before you say it, I know, there's a hair on the PCB. Let's go ahead and look past that and give thanks to the makers of this PCB. And to this single strand of hair, I despise you. Let's go ahead and start throwing down these Durock V2 stabs that are lubed with Krytox 205 G0. Stabs in. Be sure to screw them down. The stabs installed, we can move forward in the build process and go onward to the next thing. Laying down the plate foam to give a nice mute sound signature, my personal preferences, followed by our FR4 plate. Lay that down and either screw it in or not. Choice is up to you. For today's build, we're going with Wuche Studios heavy tactile switches to give a nice, clacky, snappy feel with the typing experience. And maybe add a few extra pounds. We have our plate caps for the isolated top mount, and we're going to go ahead and throw them on the PCB one by one by slipping them over these little nubs. For today's build, we're going isolated top mount using those plate caps. So we're going to go ahead and flip this top chassis over, lay down the inner assembly, and screw things down using the added screws. And now that that's taken care of, we can grab our bottom chassis with our installed daughter board and plug things in, being cautious of which way the connector faces. Grabbing things from the bottom, flipping things over, and inserting the bottom front to the bottom top. Dropping it down, then screwing everything in to secure it in place. One of my favorite keycap sets, GMK Kaiju. And with this board, couldn't pair any better. Now with the build complete, if you've stuck around this far, I appreciate you being here. Let's take a listen to a sound test. Now without that silicone pad, there is a little bit of bounce with this Mode Sonnet. Using the isolated plate caps, it has a nice lively sound, and with these Wuche Studio heavy tactile switches, gives it a nice snappy feel and a nice clacky sound, just as I imagined. Overall, my thoughts on the Mode Sonnet, truly an endgame 75% keyboard. Is it worth the money? I strongly believe so. You're gonna have to pick it up and check it out for yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to drop a sub. Until the next time.